So what we got? So we got polls are going.
All right, Scotty, Ray, and Odie, and we are live at the Scotty Ray Report from the Lauderdale County Courthouse. Odie, I can't read that because I don't have my glasses on. What does that say the time is?
Let me use my fancy little watch here. We got 4 minutes to the polls close.
Now, as you've reminded everyone, if you're still in line, you'll be able to vote even when the clock strikes 7.
Correct. When it's 7 o'clock is when, if you're in line, they say, okay, you're the last one, and you know, if it takes till 7:15, 7:20, you still have your right to vote there. But at 7:01, you can't drive up, get out, and then try to get in line.
What a political year this has been, and this one being another added. It gets touchy during political season. People get very strong in their beliefs, Odie. You know what I mean by this. You've watched all this. Folks that are for this or against this are very vocal about how they feel.
You know, and people come up and say, I can't believe that you are on the TV show every morning saying you're against this. And it's like, wait a minute, we're not saying we're against it. We're not saying we're for it. We're not saying anything. And they keep coming back to say, well, all I see is a vote no come on during y'all's TV show. Well, that's because the Vote No committee paid for that ad to run during that show.
We're still waiting on the vote yes, folks. They haven't showed up yet.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be late. I think they're going to be late.
Maybe if they want to bring this back to another vote, if they have to, they'll do it then. But we've never come out and said one way or another that how we support it. We brought Dr. Kane and Mr. Smith in 3 different times. We've had 2 people come in and talked about their views. So we brought to y'all, our listeners and our watchers, both sides of the story each time.
That's right. Now, this will happen again in, believe it or not, a month. We're going to be back again getting ready for the November election, the results, the big one, sheriff. We'll also have some of the judge races. And I think that one of the most contested at this point, to where you don't have really a feel for it, is coroner.
Coroner's going to be
that's up in the air.
Yeah, so Stella McMahon is running on the Republican ticket.
Then we've got Rita Jack.
Rita Jack strong on the Democrat ticket. So that's going to be a good vote. We've got, let's see, Supervisor District 1 is contested.
Right.
District 2 is contested. Josh Todd in District 3, he won the Republicans' nomination, which he moves on. He doesn't have an opponent in the Democrat side. Joe Norwood, he took his seat. Nobody ran against him. And now you've got Kyle in District 5, and there's a Democrat opponent against him. So 3 of the 5 are still up in the air on the ballot. And Judge, how many of those would he have? I think we've got two.
And then as we look south, let's look at Clark County. That's going to be quite a race for sheriff there.
Man,
it's about 3 or 4 that are running as independents.
Yeah, so you got 3 independents that's running against the Republican nominee, Anthony Chancellor over there. So that's going to be a big race. Barry White running for coroner,
right,
on the Republican ticket.
And it's a toe in for him.
So it's. Did you say it was a toe tag for him?
You know, as we're waiting for the results, we're sitting now. Polls just closed, 7 o'clock. If you're in line, you can still vote. As you're watching from home on your phone, tell us what you think the vote is going to be like.
Give us some ideas.
Your thoughts of what you think will happen here tonight.
And how many people do y'all think went and voted? I know some of y'all are there. If you're just now leaving, send us a message. Get on here and do a comment so we'll know what your thoughts are. Let's see. Everybody's watching right now.
Let's see here. Deborah, how are you doing tonight? Glad to see you there. a lot of you joining in. But let us know what your thoughts are. We'll keep this to the side over here and be able to look at it for what's going on, waiting for results. They should start pouring in here in just a little bit.
Got my little piece of paper and my pen, and we're ready to add this together. We may not need a big calculator this time with only 4 polling places coming in.
Now, as of 2 to 3 minutes ago, I got word that at Clarkdale there were still people in line voting, and also I got that from the West Lauderdale Elementary School that we had people still voting there also as we look at this as I'm scanning messages tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this was, when I went by, it was about 1 o'clock. I took a late lunch and went by there and voted, and I was number 1,697 that had voted at West Lauderdale Elementary.
Sorry, let me ask this because I don't know the answer to this. As you add that up, there's how many people condensed to the West Lauderdale district? What is it?
I'd say about 6,000 in each one of the districts. So thereabout.
Although it's 1,600, does that make that strong? Come on by. You just come sit with us. Meridian Star joining us.
She's going to take the long way around. So, well, you know, by the end of the day,
is that a lot of people though for that many districts to have combined into one as they condensed it, so to speak, consolidated it? Is that a lot of people?
Well, compared to what's been going to the polls on these last few, I'd say we could possibly see 35 to 40% of West Lauderdale area going to vote. I'd love to see that. And the other 4, I mean, I would be happy if we had 40 to 50% of the people go vote countywide. I want to see that on every single race we do, but to see that on this right here, people are starting to pay attention. And
this got as heated as the sheriff's race from time to time there because, you know, I'm out and about and I'm a lot of places during the daytime, and as you go in and out of businesses and parking lots, you talk to people. There's always, you know, back when the sheriff's race was going on, people with different opinions discussing it in parking lots, and it got heated.
Yes, it did.
And this was kind of the same of, I'm going to put you in a headlock and I'm going to rub your head till you say uncle.
Yeah, you're going to give me an answer. How are you voting?
We saw some of that on some of our live feeds.
Oh, yeah, we really did. But it's just, you know, there's nothing wrong with everybody getting their feelings in this.
Absolutely. That's what it takes. That's what makes America click.
That's right. But at the end of the day,
why are people avoiding us? Have you seen this?
They're walking all the way around. Next time we'll have to block it off.
We are not popular people. It's like we got the cooties.
Yeah, like we've got the plague or something. They're going to walk all the way around, come in the other door. Man.
It's going to be okay.
That's right. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you voted no and your friend voted yes. The thing is, you both went and voted. You had each individual right to vote, and you also had your own thoughts that made you vote the way that you wanted to vote. And we need to remain friends. Don't get upset because someone voted different than you. That's not America. That's not Christian-like. That's not the way we should be. It should be, we're still in this together.
Were there any Vegas odds on this election tonight?
I started to call and get some odds from Vegas. Start us a little poll on the side. But
let's see what happens.
Yeah.
There's always an office pool of who thinks is going to win the closest bet on this, of what the outcome will be.
Went to sell squares, you know.
I didn't think about that. That is kind of popular there.
We could have done that.
Oh, activity in the courthouses. They start showing up.
Here we go. There's one box coming in.
All right. Let's see here. I heard
there wasn't anything in the box, but there was a box.
But it's a box. Folks, we're off to a start here.
All right. So, nope, nothing.
Nope. Somebody's wanting to know what time we're going live, and I said, you're late. And they're getting ready to come on.
We're on now.
Yeah. Check out that toenail polish over there to our left. Have you thought about getting any like that, Odie?
And she won't even come over here and show us.
Avoiding us.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Got some boxes and some paperwork and materials coming in.
Everybody's getting ready.
I think they're just getting ready to do the the county.
Well, the room is empty in there. We've went in and went around, took a look at everything. If you've never been, honestly, I have not done a lot of time inside any of the courtrooms in the courthouse.
I mean, that may be a good thing.
It could be.
Yeah, I went in there to try and play Matlock,
How'd that work out?
well, I didn't have nobody to defend. So
You may end up having to film. You're still not on camera. You're doing good.
Yeah.
You walked right by us and yet again got by us.
I tell you, we're having fun. Y'all need to come join us.
Now, again, polls are closed now. It's 7:07. I expect results to start coming in any minute now.
Yeah, I'd love to see high numbers. I really would. I just, however which way this goes, this does not need to divide us
No,
as
it
a
doesn't.
community, no matter what. We do need to go and see what all had been talked about during these discussions. A lot of this discussions that had took place that we went and streamed live from, if you noticed, a lot of that didn't have anything specific to do with this vote, but was a lot of hot topics that parents have felt really hot and
Well, they didn't have a place to say it before.
didn't have a place, and they really heartfelt wanted answers, and that was the only place to do it.
Odie, I'd never been to a school board meeting in my life. I went to the very first one. I actually didn't even know where the central office was for the Lauderdale County Schools until I had to Google it and go, oh, I pass by that every day.
And didn't know, it's a nice building.
Yeah, I thought it was an apartment building, to be honest with you.
Well, I think it used to be a Rexall Electric or something like that.
That's new to me.
But, you know, I think people use this platform to get out questions that they
Yeah.
needed answers to. And I think what has happened is now there's more questions that's not dealing with just this bond issue that has come to the limelight. And I think we're going to have to try and put together some type of a discussion that deals with all of these other issues that parents are concerned about.
Yep. I'm just trying to convince somebody that we really are alive. They're very confused when it comes to using their technology on their phones.
We can rent them.
We're not calling names by anybody in town, but
We can rent them, Rob.
yeah, we'll call it Rent-A-Rob.
Rent-A-Rob. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. There might be a company named that. Well, they got
we'll have to take it.
Rent-A-Husband.
They got Rent-A-Husband. They don't have a Rent-A-Rob.
I misunderstood what that meant in the beginning, and I thought it was like you needed a date. Nobody go out with you. Lo and behold, it's all about getting stuff fixed at the house. Because we all know that, well, husbands don't fix anything.
Oh,
At least
you're
that's what
right.
I'm told.
Well,
Let's see here.
Amy may say the same thing. I fixed dinner. You can tell I fixed dinner.
I ain't going there. Still waiting for results. I think we're somewhere around 9 minutes after the hour. We should be getting results by 7:15 tonight is what I think we should start seeing. That's the last time that's when we started seeing some results. And, of course, it had a lot more races going on, and we started seeing results coming in from that.
Yeah, at that time we had, I think, what was it, right at 32 or 37 polls that
Yeah,
we had to keep
37.
up with. And I know some of y'all are going to be disappointed come the general election in November that we're not going to be using the whiteboard.
Yeah, we're going to step up.
So we rented a Rob, and so now we've moved into the new technological
But
age.
I think we still need to get you that little bitty board, what's his name, that you can put under your arm and write your own notes and hold up.
I can always do some writing. Get me a little dry erase board with a hand hook on the back.
That's right.
Yeah, golly, what was his name? We were talking about that the other day.
The guy off of Fox News.
Yeah.
And I told you who he was, and now I can't remember it. Thanks for putting me on the spot there.
Well,
Makes me feel good there.
We slept since
He's got the
then.
glasses. I see him now.
Kind of bigger fella.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, well.
that was him. We'll,
Golly, it started with an R, I think.
yeah, I'm blank at the moment.
I can't remember.
Let's see, we got folks saying that they feel like it's not going to pass. All right, we do have a total of how many people voted at West Lauderdale. I just got this in. 1,903 voted at West Lauderdale. Now, we don't know what the breakdown of that is yet, but we do know that. All right, we're getting our first ones in.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's zoom in so we can read this.
So where does it say where we're at?
It says a paper sheet.
Clarkdale?
I believe it is Clarkdale. All right, y'all hang on. Total paper sheets, 171. Okay, here we go. For the bond issue, 20 votes. Against the bond issue is 151.
So Clarkdale had 171 that voted?
This is one machine. This is one machine there. Add, keep a tally there. You're going to have to keep adding this. One more machine coming in. Should be coming in just a moment here from, and let me do this because that was kind of rough. Hang on here. Hold that.
You want me to hold that for you? All right. Look at there. Them things just snap right in.
Educated now.
I was wondering because, you know, you had that thing in large and it was bigger than I could read.
And I still couldn't see it. It's amazing with this technology on my face here what I can see.
So I think it was, we had 3 machines that were taking votes.
3. We have 2 there. So, so far, 151 to 20 is what it is against 151-20. This is 1 from Clarkdale.
So that's 1 machine that we've got coming in. So let's see. And then we don't have the total votes on it, but West Lauderdale, we had 1,903 total votes.
Right.
So we don't have the breakdown on those 3 yet. And then we had southeast and northeast.
And what we will do is, I will put a total up of what we have so far. I'm going to type this out. I can't talk and do 2 things at once. We had 20 for that.
We had 24, and then we had 151 against. Now, that was 1 out of 2 machines at Clarkdale.
Against 100.
Yep, 3 machines at West Lauderdale.
That was 151, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm trying to type this out one-handed. As y'all will see, I am not the best at this. Lauderdale County bond. I don't know why it won't do it on its own. This is what you call live as it gets.
That's it. And
it's going to be okay.
We've never used a monitor, and we don't plan on using a monitor. We come at you as live as you can go.
All right, what we have, what we're getting told here, each machine will have separate votes. So take 1 sheet as a total. 3 machines at West Lauderdale and Northeast will have 3 machines. 2 machines at Southeast and also at Clarkdale. So we're getting this little by little there. All right, again, that count, we're getting another thing of 1,903 votes at West Lauderdale. But what we have so far,
we still have just the 1 machine that's come up with this tally at Clarkdale. 151 votes against the bond issue and 20 votes for the issue.
So as we await this, we will get more figures here in just a moment as we watch the results come in. And let's see. All right. We have 380 absentee ballots also. We need to calculate into this also, Odie.
So, yeah. So a total county-wide, 380 is going to be a number
right.
that will come up. If there's anything near that at the end that's a gap between the 2, this may be a late night, because we don't know what those 380 absentees are.
Yeah, if it's
hold.
tight, it could turn into a late night with that being the deciding vote.
Yeah.
We've got, 130, 129 difference right now. That could change so quickly, though.
Yeah, it really could. That was off one machine. The other machine could be just the opposite of
Sure
that
could.
right there, and bring this down to a very small gap. Of course, this is just one school that's coming in.
Hey,
So,
I learned this just then. If you got reading glasses, don't look up. You get dizzy
so is it a
sitting here.
good thing that we're sitting down?
It's real good, Odie. So you can't learn this anywhere else. This stuff is just natural with us.
Yeah.
Home remedies, what not to do in life. All right, still no changes, no updates of what we got.
Maybe we could teach a media class in the CTE Center.
It might be. It may
Yeah.
let us in. Do you think, and this is just all guesswork here, do you see Clarkdale having more no's than any of the other schools with the school issues there of the buildings not being repaired? Do you see more no's coming out of there than anywhere else?
I really do, and if this was any other school, it would surprise me a little bit. Clarkdale, not so much for the fact that the shape of the school is not so good. You've got kids who are sick, and not good sick because of mold that's been in the schools. I know one that spoke the other day that is having to go to Jackson for treatments at least twice a week. So parents are having to leave town to go out of town to get treatments for their son twice a week because of being in a moldy room. So there was a lot of these questions that arose from Clarkdale that some of these other schools really didn't know what was going on, and they have pushed the issue that a lot of parents are kind of getting on their side of things.
Now, I just got a report as we look at this. This would be strong if this turns out to be true here. We're getting reports in the Collinsville area that the absentee ballots, 89% against. Now, that's unofficial. Now, I think we just got something else. All right, let's see what we got, Odie, as we go back. I think this is going to be another Clarkdale box, and it is.
So this would be number 2 of 2.
It would be. For the bond issue, add 80.
Okay.
Against 564. So what will be our grand total there as you
So
do
we've
your...
got 100 that were for it, and we've got 715 against. So Clarkdale area coming in, this is not official. We had 815 votes that came in. We had 100 for it and 715 against.
All right, we just updated our page. We're keeping a running tally on this live on above the feed here to where it's easy to read if you're just glancing back and forth to where that'll be easy to keep up with. So as we were guessing there just a moment, that's official, well, not official from the courthouse, but that is what went on there. This is what's being sent to the courthouse here in just a minute. As strong as you just said, the words out of Odie's mouth that Clarkdale would be strong in saying no on this. And so far, that's true. 715 residents in the Clarkdale community said no. 100 of you said, I want to spend that extra $12.5 million.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, and out of 380 absentee, and 89% of those were against the bond. That's pretty strong numbers.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. I just, we're going to see. This ought to be a pretty interesting night. But it's definitely, so far, I'm surprised that Clarkdale actually came out first with numbers. I figured a lot of people would be sitting there at 7 o'clock waiting to vote because so many people showed up.
Now, as we were talking about the absentee, I don't know the breakdown. The total breakdown is 380 absentee ballots. I don't know how many of those are from the Collinsville area, but strong words saying 89% that came from the Collinsville area. And that's probably, wouldn't you say, the biggest voting area in this?
That'd be the biggest box. And yeah, so that's not 380. It's not 80% of the total of the absentee. It's just 89% of the absentees from the West Lauderdale box.
Correct. Of that area there, of what we're getting on that. So we've got one school that has rejected this. This would be the Clarkdale area. If you live in there, y'all's words have spoken. And as we said, we kind of expected that from Clarkdale.
Yeah, and then as parents heard the concerns from the Clarkdale family, I think a lot of hearts went out to them and what they're having to deal with at that school that some of these other ones were not aware of.
Oh, yeah. I ran into somebody else, and she said, I felt bad. I had no idea that was going out there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are backing those folks wanting to get their kids taken care of and back into a regular classroom. And I know there's been some plumbing issues, and maybe there's a lot of people that needed some eye-opening on all of this, and it's going to be better for the county as we move forward. That's what we hope came out of this.
Exactly, and hopefully we'll have some more of these discussions on different subjects.
Right.
That all of the parents, especially the ones that came forward and had concern, let's set up a time where we can do discussions for each individual concern and get the board to be with us, not just Dr. Kane. Dr. Kane had a vision, and he brought that vision to the board. The board is the one who had to say yes or no. Dr. Kane's vision to do good, but also he's not in this alone. I will give him extra kudos because of what it took to stand in front of all these parents at these different discussions and take the heat.
Oh, yeah. I felt for him.
I did.
I've been there in a few situations before taking heat, and you got to do it. And that's what a leader does. You take, when it's good, you take it, and when it's bad, you take it. You roll with the flow, so to speak. No new results yet as we wait for this. All polls are closed. At this point, if you're just tuning in, we have 715 against the school bond so far to, what's the no's, the yays?
100 yays.
100 yays.
Yeah, so Clarkdale, 815 total votes. Now, there's still some absentees that were out of the Clarkdale box, but we don't have those numbers yet. So that's going to be a tough one to catch up with. I don't see much more than 100.
Yeah, on the absentee, I can't imagine, especially with the history of the school of what we've been telling you on that one there.
Yeah. Some people have said a lot of the elderly actually went to the schools and voted today.
I saw several elderly people that were out voting this morning that made their plans to be there, had people take them.
That's right. And it's good for everybody to have their voice.
That tells us this was a hot button for a lot of people, and they wanted their voice heard.
Yeah, because you would think that a lot of the elderly, if they were having to drive 2 or 3 times farther to get to a polling place than they normally would at their regular precinct, that they may not show up and voice their concerns, but it looks like overall they may have come out and voice their opinion.
I ran into one person today that said, look, there's just no way. I got 20 minutes for lunch, 30 minutes for lunch. I got to have something to eat, and there is no way for me to drive 30 minutes from here to go vote and be back at work on time. And that's the only had one say that. There may be more that I didn't talk to that had that same, because there's a lot of places you get 30 minutes for lunch, you got to be back. What do you do?
Well, not only that, look at what our community, as far as work, that is a big part of our community, and that's the hospitals. And all of these nurses, they work 7A to 7P.
Yeah, I
So
didn't think about that.
they were there the entire time that the voting polls were open. How many of the 380 were nurses that went down ahead of time saying, hey, I've got to work, I can't show up, and don't know because we haven't asked. Could the hospital have said, hey, why don't y'all take an hour, go vote, you five go vote, come back, you five go vote, come back. I brought this up on the thing one day because of that. How hard would it be to take one polling person and a machine to each one of the hospitals so they could do it there?
All I think is security.
But, strictly for the employees.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Because these people work hard, and they work hard for 12 hours.
But there's so many voting regulations, I never see. And what is going to happen with the future of elections in America in general? Do you believe that nationwide, when we have a national vote, that everything ought to be the same? Oh, we're getting more results.
Let's see. We got some new ones coming in.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see where this is from. All right, this is going to be, it doesn't say where it's from. Okay, well, let's write down the numbers.
All right.
Okay, wherever this is, we've got 91-4 and 556. And it should say on this next one, it's a little bit longer. Poll closed. This may be southeast is where this is. Okay, 38-4. Let me give you another number there.
Same.
Same school. I believe this is southeast.
Okay, 38-4.
And 190 against. Okay, let me go back over the numbers here.
Okay.
91 on the first one for it. 556 against.
Okay.
190 against and 38.
Okay. So right now we are at.
All right, we got one more.
All right.
Did we get a 190 and a 38 on it? Yeah, they got sent twice to me.
Okay.
And that is going to be southeast.
All right, so that's going to be southeast. And they've got 2.
Yeah, they've got 2 there.
So that's both of theirs. So now we've got at southeast, both of their boxes coming in. We have a total vote of 129 for the bond issue and 746 against the bond issue.
All right, now give me grand totals on that so I can change that on our page. 4, how many have we got?
All right, so 4, we have 229 for it. And then, see, that's going to be that, and carry the 1 and cause that, and bring that down. And we've got 1,461 against.
Okay, we've now updated that on the page, so you've got the latest. All right, as we'll wait for more election results coming in on this.
Yeah, so right now we're halfway through. Total of 1,461 votes against the bond issue and 229 votes for the bond issue. And this is for $12.5 million bond, as we've been told, to use specifically for the CTE Center in the old PV building on Highway 1180. There's some people who had brought up that some of the wording of the bond language had it to where they could use this money in just about anything that they wanted that dealt with school and not just the CTE. And you think that may have played a part, the actual wording of the bond?
Yeah, I think so. That had a large portion to do with it, because we all know with politicians, and you've got somebody in charge of it now, that doesn't mean that they'll be in charge of it next week. And if they can do something, well, it says legally I can do it, then they run with it. We saw that with the tobacco money in the state of Mississippi. This is only going to be used for this, but it had a clause that said it could be used for other, and what happened? Politicians dipped in to where well, we're broke again.
Kind of like
All
Social
that money's
Security
gone.
money, isn't it? They took all the Social Security money and put in IOUs, and now the United States is broke with that. And
All right, we're getting our first results from West Lauderdale.
all right, West Lauderdale.
All right, we have 125 for the bond issue and 449 against.
Okay.
That is our first numbers that we get from West Lauderdale. If you'll give me a, all right, here's another one. All right, 388 against.
All right, wait a minute. What was that number?
388 against.
388 against,
And 68 for the bond issue.
and 68 for the bond issue.
Correct.
Okay.
I think I got one more coming in. This will be the third machine at West Lauderdale. Okay, for the bond issue, 126.
Okay.
Against, 746.
Okay.
So we're going to add these up. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that West Lauderdale has voted this down. That is my guess.
All right, so now we've got, let's see, that right there is going to be this, and carry that one, and take that down, and make that over there, and then have this one, and that one, and carry the one. So we had 319 for the bond issue, and 1,583 against the bond issue in West Lauderdale.
All right, add those numbers total.
So now we'll have, let's see, we'll go.
All right, as Odie is adding that up, we've got West Lauderdale. Look at the calculator back there in the background that we're getting shown. Look at technology, y'all.
And you know what? We've got two of them right here beside us. Look, I got West Lauderdale math. Miss Davis taught me, and she wouldn't let me use a calculator. I'm not going to start today, Miss Davis.
Oh, this is too funny.
So, all right, so that's that, and 18 and 4. So a grand total right now with 3 schools coming in, we've got 548 for the bond issue and 3,044 against the bond issue.
All right, so we're lacking.
Northeast is the one that we don't have just yet.
All right, that could, in your opinion, do we have enough votes in that particular place to swing this? This is a pretty big lead for the nose on this.
All right, so we had 1,903 vote cast in West Lauderdale. If you had 2,000 votes in Northeast and every one of them were for the bond issue, you still wouldn't have enough
To pull it
as
out.
it was to pull it out.
But we're going to hang on here. We're going to figure this in, and we're waiting for Northeast to come in. That is our last one. We've had pretty good results of this coming in quickly.
So we're sitting at 733 now. That's not bad. People did get out and vote, and I'm happy to see the people voting.
Yeah, these are the same numbers that you got. I'm just getting them a second time there.
I had one send me a text that said, "Take your socks off and count." Well, that doesn't give me but 10 other digits.
Well, the problem is we don't have enough hands. Let's just be honest about this. We got microphones, we got a pen and a piece of paper, and it's a good thing we're sitting down.
Yeah, because if we were standing up, we would be up a creek without a paddle.
Yeah. Now, the absentee is not going to sway this vote at all. It is what it is at this point as we wait for Northeast to officially come in here in just a moment. I think we've got folks standing by at Northeast High School to give us results as they are counted.
Yeah, this was
That's your Walmart list?
That was my Walmart list. I might have to go to the store. I bought one day's worth of groceries the other day, and that was $140.
Now, let me ask this, Odie, as we look at this. Our no's in the county so far are 3,044, to 548. That's pretty strong. 3 schools saying we don't want this. Our taxes would go up. We feel that the money is not being appropriated. And this tells us that somewhere between $40,000 to $60,000 of taxpayer money was wasted today. Now, you can try to sweeten that up. You can try to make that sound any way you want. But is $40,000 to $60,000 gone that could have waited 30 days to be on the ballot in November and wouldn't have cost the taxpayer a single thing? Now, am I right or am I wrong?
That's, now, since we're waiting on that and we pull out this report, one of these things that stuck.
And this is the Shad White report that has come in on the Lauderdale County school system of what we've got. You're ringing, I think.
Yeah, I think, Lord, that's my other one over here. See, I had calculations in every pocket.
This man totes phones like y'all don't even know. As we wait to find out more results on this. And again, if you're just tuning in, we're at 3,000. What is that, 3,041?
3,044 totally against it so far without Northeast numbers, and 548 for it. And our Clarkdale numbers ended up being, and I'm texting somebody now, we had a total of 715 no's, and we had 100 for it.
So that's what we know so far at this point. One more school, if you're just tuning in on this, one school left to report, plus 300 in absentee ballots is what we'll be waiting on. We probably won't get the absentees till later. We'll post them on the thing, but we'll be able to call this. We could actually go ahead and call this. I think that everyone really knows where this is going, but we're going to wait till we get these last results in before we say that. But not an assumption.
380 absentees is not going to make any kind of difference at this point on one way or another. 1,900 total votes at West Lauderdale. That was a big school. Going by the totals of these other schools, Clarkdale and Southeast, they didn't have quite that high of a number. And even if you added 2,000 votes from Northeast that was for this issue, we still wouldn't have enough votes with all absentees to do this as well. So it looks like unofficial right now, even without the Northeast results, that this bond may have failed tonight. But we're still waiting on Northeast. We're not going to say one way or another yet.
I haven't gotten it from our people, but I've gotten it from somebody else that's saying it is leaning that it's a huge no at Northeast. I'm waiting on Northeast to come in on this. But
Northeast had some issues that they dealt with like Clarkdale did.
Yeah.
So maybe that was something that not just Clarkdale showed up because they had some issues, but also Northeast because there's some issues there.
Let me see.
So. This is we've got people at each one of the polling places that's sending numbers in for us.
Yeah,
so
waiting officially on that, but I can say that it's going to be disastrous. The bond issue happen.
Yeah, I don't see this making that much of a difference with North. They still want their numbers to give us a better idea of where we're sitting.
But again, we're going to go ahead and call this of what I've seen so far. This is over for the school bond issue. Someone is going to be paying for the election tonight on a loss. That is what we've got.
And what I was looking at just a minute ago, and this is the Shad White report that came out today. and some of the issues that he had found, and the one that really caught me off guard, and now I'm not going to be able to find it that easy. Okay, so here's one that said, on August 10th, 2021, the board approved the 2021-2022 original budget that included 22 fund reflecting a project negative fund balance at year end totaling $5,648,899. Then says the amended 2021-2022 budget included the following 11 funds, and it's got a list of them, reflecting a negative fund balance at year end totaling $15,725,844. And that is something that it's kind of scary. Looking at this report, we haven't started next year yet, and by year end, we're going to be $15 million in the hole.
15 million?
15 million.
Okay, I want to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah, $15,725,844 at the end of this school year, negative.
Now, is there some type of hidden fund, and I don't know the answer to this, is there some type of hidden fund that we don't know about that comes in mid-year that funds this and we don't know about it, to be fair?
Yeah,
On paper, it's telling us it is not looking good.
And that is kind of, and this is a $12.5 million bond.
And we went up, as we all know, as we were looking at numbers that came out on this, the budget being $58 million, jumping to $90 million over 2 years.
Yeah, this one, it says the alternative school was $948. At risk was $175. The extended school year cost $7,914. School improvements cost $287,101. The ESSER 2, and I'm not sure what that is, that's probably some kind of a grant or free money. That cost us $3,480,251. The ARP ESSER 3, $10,438,571. $10,438,571. IDEA Part B ARP grant was $305,967. The IDEA Part B Pre-K ARP grant was $26,905. Preschool physical year, this says for 2020, or it could be physical year 2000, not sure exactly what that is, $41,110. Vocational education, $12,095, and a 3-meal loan for 2022 was $1,124,837. The approval of the fund budgets which ended deficit fund balance could result in a violation of state law. However, the actual fund balances as June 30th, 2022 were not negative. So, we found some money somewhere.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, did we have that much money put back?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But what Odie's referring to is that Shad White report that came out today. We'll get back more on that as we wait for this. And again, we're unofficially going to call this this bond issue dead. As we are waiting on the last results. I did get a thing where they took a picture of the results that came out and the light was not well. But I'm getting numbers here that of a backup that was sent to me that is saying, I think it was 900. Let me go back down and take a look here. And again, this is not from our folks. This is 912 is what we're getting that were against the issue at Northeast, and then 297 for it. So Northeast being the largest numbers that we're seeing there come in for the bond issue, 300 almost, and then 912, and then you factor in 380 absentee ballot. This is failed and failed big time.
Yeah, unofficially, so we're looking at 912. We'll just throw that down. And then the other one that we could get was 297. A lot of people for it over there. So that's a 2 and a carry the 1 and a 4 and a carry the 1. I'm going to teach math class next.
Yep, that's coming up.
So unofficially, we've got 842 votes for the bond issue, 3,956 votes against the bond issue, with 380 votes still in limber. So 3956. Wow.
Yeah, I'm putting on here unofficially. And so that is up. So that is what we've got so far. There's nothing that's going to change this when it comes to these absentee ballots. So a win for the noes. There was a lot of work went behind this campaign to put this together. Money was raised. They got out and so to speak, went to work, knocking on doors, telling people about what really was going on behind this. Now, as we all know, this is not going to stop the CTE building. It will be there in some shape, form, or fashion, as they'll have to make cutbacks, which there's a lot of people that feel that should have been done to begin with, and we shouldn't have went into this $40,000 to $60,000, Odie, for an election.
I think that was something else that kind of hurt. And going over these numbers, we had 4,798 people go to the poll today and voice their concern, 380 absentee ballots, for 5,178 residents voiced their opinion, which turned out 3,956 votes against. That's a lot.
You get into this, and there's a lot of play into this, what made people go vote no. When you change voting stations, it makes people go, wait a minute, what are you trying to pull over on me? I go here and vote every time. Why are you changing it? Why are you narrowing this down? Why are you putting it in the school? Now, thankfully, and nothing happened. We want to back that up and say that nothing happened. There was no mischief at any of the schools. But why take a risk when you don't have to? That was in a lot of parents' minds. Why put this at risk of putting it where somebody could walk through? Now, we had plenty of security. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, they were everywhere.
Yeah, but why do it? That made people go, all right. Number 2, and then not waiting for the ballot, the big number 3 thing there, and then answers of, well, the attorney told us to do it. That doesn't set well with the voters apparently in Lauderdale County.
And I know I had gotten a few phone calls, and you had gotten a few phone calls, and then we got together and we had some people that were really concerned when it came to security cameras.
Right.
At these polls, if they had security cameras. Now, when I went to West Lauderdale Elementary, there was a sign up that said security system is closed. I don't know if they cut the cameras off just in that area. I hope it was just that area, not the entire school. But they did have a note out there, or a sign that said that those were not working.
And then the other side of that will say, well, they take your name and you have to have photo ID so they know who it is anyway who came in and voted. There's arguments on both sides of this of who, what, and when. But at the end of the day, this has failed. It is not, your taxes are not going to be going up, not at least on this. But you do have a $40 million courthouse coming your way come December that you'll get to pay your taxes on. Now, that's $40 million on paper. That's not counting the other expenses that are well written in different ways. There's more expenses to that than meets the eye, and we all know that.
Yeah.
So at this point, we're going to call this a wrap. This really settles it. We've got the numbers there. As soon as we get the official results that are on paper from the Lauderdale County Courthouse, we will change that, update it, and make it official. But at the end of the day, this has failed. You can pat yourself on the back. If you were against this, your team pulled ahead. The yeas just didn't have it. What was the total that we come up with?
So as of what we've got right now, 3,956 was against the $12.5 million bond, and 842 was for the bond. And I tell you, this CTE program, I think, is a great idea. It's something that we really need to have available for students.
All right, we got an updated number, so let's back out those last two numbers that we put on there, that we hypothetically put in there a minute ago.
All right, so let me go back to 3,044 and 548, okay?
Right. Coming in from Northeast, we have for it, 256.
Okay.
Against it, 1,202. Now, I'm going to let you...
6, 4, 2, 4, 4, 0, 7. So we're looking at, right now, 704 total votes. 704 for the bond. 4,246 for the against the bond. So now places 4,246 no, they do not want the bond. 704 said yes, they do want the bond.
The only votes that aren't counted at this point will be the 380 that is absentee, and that's not going to change this.
No, I even with my math skills, I feel comfortable saying that it's not going to change the outcome.
42-46 against 704. I think again, that's right at 5,000 people went out and voted for this. This is a pretty strong statement.
It really is. A lot of people, I think a lot of people paid a lot of attention to this.
They did.
And really had some questions that were answered. And I think some that weren't really answered may have caused some people to sway one side or the other.
All right. Again, when we get the official piece of paper from the Lauderdale County Courthouse, we will update that with the absentee votes in that. But as of now, officially, however you want to word it, the bond issue has been beaten here in Lauderdale County. We're going to be coming back live tomorrow morning. What time, Odie?
Well, I tell you what, we're looking at
math.
So we got my mind's going. So that's 4 and 7's 11. So 10 and a half hours from now, you'll get the Scotty Ray report, and at 11 hours from now, you'll have the Scotty Ray and Odie show. Wednesday's Hump Day edition come to you at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Thank y'all, and God bless you. Thank you for joining in and watching us tonight.